You may not have known it, but just the other day was Global Recycling Day. This is a day to help recognize the important role that recycling plays in reducing waste and contributing to a greener future. Recycling is a key part of achieving circularity. Circularity, or a circular economy, means that nothing goes to waste. It is a way of producing and consuming things to minimize waste and instead recover as much as possible by reusing, repairing, repurposing, or recycling materials. Did you know that humans have consumed more resources in the last 50 years than in all previous history? Recycling benefits the environment since it uses fewer raw resources, uses less energy, and produces less greenhouse gas emissions than is required to make new products from extracted materials. Recycling also reduces the amount of waste that goes into landfills, cuts down on plastic pollution, and helps to conserve the world's natural resources and habitats. Recycling is one of the easier climate actions that we individuals can make. But for it to truly make an impact, it needs to be done right. In 2018, only 28% of all waste was diverted to recycling in Canada, with the rest of it going into landfills, getting shipped to other parts of the world, or even being burned. What can and can't be recycled can actually be a little confusing or unclear. And actually, we often aren't putting waste in the right place, or we are contaminating recyclables with food waste. But there's things we can do to get it right. Here are some tips to make sure we're all recycling the right way. We should compost any food or liquid waste to avoid contaminating the rest of the materials in the recycling. We have to make sure our recyclables are empty, clean, and dry. Different materials mixed together can't be recycled, like plastic-coated coffee cups or laminated paper, because they are too hard to separate. And this is a tough one. We can't wish cycle. Let's all check to make sure something is or isn't recyclable before we throw it away. What about plastics? Did you know that less than 10% of all plastics are recycled? 79% of plastic waste is littering the natural environment or is in landfills, which are quickly reaching their capacity. And 8 million tons of plastic waste enter the ocean each year. This is why it is so important to properly recycle plastic products and materials. Recycling plastics can get a bit more complicated. There are different types of plastics, and not all of them can be recycled. To see if a certain plastic product can be recycled, check for the recycling symbol. Recyclable plastics will also have a recycling code. These codes go from 1 to 7, and they describe what type of plastic it is. A general rule for these codes is that the higher the number, the less recyclable the product is. But this also depends on where you live and the recycling guidelines there. For example, in Sudbury, plastics number 3 and 7 and any other plastics without codes cannot be recycled. Checking out your city's waste management website or using an app like the City of Greater Sudbury's WasteWise app can really help clear things up. While recycling is a simple climate action that everyone can take, it is not a solution to climate change. It is an effective way to minimize waste and reduce emissions, but the best way to cut emissions is to reduce the amount of waste that we're creating in general. One way to do this is to be mindful of the products we purchase and what they're made of and packaged with. We need to recognize that everything we consume and everything we throw away produces greenhouse gases. So we need to rethink the way that we see waste and see garbage as an opportunity. So reduce, reuse, recycle, repair, repurpose, respect, and refuse wherever possible. And let's find innovative and creative ways to use our waste to better the environment. Remember, we can choose to not use products that produce waste and demand change so we can achieve our circular economy.